Bonjour, hola, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, ni hao. My name is Cynthia Chandra, and I am an internationally trained artist. I have shown my art in Japan, UK, France, and USA. My passion is to encourage artists to grow and thrive in their creative soul. This world needs to see your unique perspective. I want to give you the skills and techniques to connect you with your own creativity and the tools you need to express your beautiful soul. I donate 10% back to animal rescues to protect our beautiful world that has inspired my art.
Hello, everyone. How is everybody tonight? Thank you for catching the replay. If you're not here with me this evening, I'm going to continue doing our 14 days of free drawings. So I come live at 10 p.m. every night, 10 p.m. Eastern every night, and I'm offering you guys some free drawing classes in celebration and an excitement for my upcoming drawing series. So I will have 10 days to draw, and it's only going to be $10. So I'm excited, guys. I don't know about you, but so if you are at all interested in learning to draw, this might be a great class for you. I'm going to take you step by step through all the techniques and all the tools that you'll need to learn how to draw. And that's going to be starting the second week in February. Perfect for Valentine's Day. All right, everybody, so you need to have a piece of paper and a pencil and an eraser, which I don't have. So we're going to go without a eraser today for me. So if you are watching the replay or if you're watching now, I would love, love, love for you to share your picture with me. Thank you, everybody who shared the previous one's pictures. You guys are doing so great. I'm so thrilled with how well you guys have been drawing. So this one is actually going to be one of the easier ones that we're going to do. And hopefully tonight, if you're joining me tonight, you'll be able, or tomorrow, you'll be able to do this pretty easily, and it'll be a fun little piece for you to have. This one might be fun to do on like a little note card. And maybe do watercolor on it afterwards or paint it afterwards. I'm using a big piece of paper so you can see, but you can use any size paper that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be making daisies today. So the main thing with daisies is you have a circular center. Now, if you don't feel comfortable drawing circles yet, there's no shame in using an object to trace, like a mug, a cup, water cup. If you have like, this is an earphone case I have, anything circular, there's no shame in tracing, because eventually you'll learn how to do a circle. But if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. Give yourself some room. So I'm going to start with my center circle of the daisy, and I'm going to make it a little bit darker so everybody can see here. You just need to do one line, but I'm doing a couple so you guys can see it pretty well. Let me adjust my lighting. That's a little bit better. There's a little bit of a glare. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is our petals. And to do our petals, think of an oval shape. But I want you to think of a teardrop oval shape. I'm going to use my pen so you guys can see. So you're going to start with a point and go up like that, like a V, and around like an M at the top, if you think about it like that. Okay, so you're going to make a V shape and go around like an M. Eventually, you'll be at the place where you can just go around, and you'll probably end up there tonight because you're going to be making so many petals that you'll get very used to this. So daisies aren't quite as flat and wide as this. They're more long. So when we're making our petals today, we're going to make them up higher, down lower. So if you need to practice on another piece of paper first, totally can. Hey there, Trish. Thanks for joining me. I'm so excited. So Trish won our 10-day class. We just had a giveaway. She actually won access to the 10-day class. So I'm so excited to have you. So now we're going to make our petals. So you're going to make long petals because daisies have pretty long petals. And you're just going to keep going in a row. They're pointed at the bottom and rounded at the top. Just right along next to each other. Pointed at the bottom, round at the top. Here, let me get my things going there. There we go. Pointed at the bottom, round at the top. So you're going to keep going around in your circles. Remember, pointed at the bottom, round at the top. And we're going to go the whole way around. If you're slower than I am, don't worry about that. This will be on for replay tomorrow, or after this actually. So you can always watch it again, and you can always pause and come back. Oh, Trish says she's so excited too. Yay! It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I just needed to do it instead of just talking about it. So sometimes, for me at least, it's easier for me to turn my paper. If you like to have it all facing, if you want to do your paper facing all the same way, that's totally fine too. But for me, it's easier if I keep turning my paper as I'm going around the circle. Now, as you can see, my petals aren't all the same size because nothing in nature is perfect. Nothing is, anytime that you're doing a drawing or painting of nature, things are usually imperfect, and that's what makes it look natural. So just be patient with yourself. Make them however long you want them to be. Hey, Frankie, how are you doing tonight? I heard you have a very, very busy couple of weeks coming up. So now that we've made it the whole way around, your daisy will have thousands of petals, and we can begin working on our center of the daisy. Now, when you're making the center of the daisy, it's totally up to you how much detail you want to put into it. Hold on, I'm trying to fix my computer here. Hopefully you guys can still see me. It froze for a second there. All right, I'm going to keep talking because it looks like I'm still good. When we're doing the center, you can pick how much detail you want. If you want to just leave it at this point, that's totally cool. Like if you like the circle for the center and you like your petals all around, totally cool. You can just stop right there. But if you want to add more details, you can keep going with me. So the center of a daisy is made up of tons of little tiny pistons. And those little tiny pistons, to our eye, looks like circles. Oh, thank you, Trish. She says we're still here. Oh, man. Frankie says she's tired and overwhelmed. She's still working on taxes. It's so hard for creatives. I know for probably you guys too. If we don't get a chance to paint, that's hard. Like I haven't painted large for a while, and that's how I express myself is by painting large. So like I've been working on this painting behind me just because I needed to do something big. So we're going to be making little tiny circles inside of our thing, of our center. So as you can see, my circles are not perfect by any means. They're all different sizes, they're all different shapes, some are overlapping, and that's just going to make the texture that we want for the center. So you're going to keep going, and as you're going, I want you to think about making and pressing harder on the edge, and then lighter as you get towards the center. And I'll hold it up so you can see it a little bit better here. So as you can see, I did darker at the edge and lighter towards the center. So this takes a long time, and this is actually really good for meditating. If you're thinking about all your pressures of today, all the things that you had to get done, it's a good time to just think about how today went, think about the things that you would change, and then allow room for yourself to grow, to forgive if you need to be grateful. I find that if I'm having a rough week or a rough time, just remembering the things that I'm thankful for, even simple things like water or chance to hang out with my son in the mornings. This is a good time to do those things. Now, as I'm making my circles, it's almost turning into scribbles, and that's totally fine too. You can see it's kind of scribbly. This is just the center, and we want to get that texture in there. If you wanted to come in and do something fun, you could come in with colored pencils in the center. Or maybe later on you wanted to come back in and paint in the center. You could totally do something like that. So you're just going to keep layering and layering. Yeah, Trish says it's the little things in life. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to keep going until, with this lighter color here, until we reach about half the size of our outside circle. About there's good for me. And now we're going to push harder again because the center hasn't quite opened yet of these. So we're going to push hard, keep making those circles, but push harder here to make it darker, make a dark circle around, lighten it up for a row, and then make it dark in the center. And then if you want to come back in and make the transition not as harsh, you can slowly push lighter and lighter and come back out from the middle. And again, my circles are kind of turning into scribbles, so that's totally fine. We're just trying to get that texture in there. This kind of reminds me of, do you remember those sketch tools where you put your thumb down on it and then you twirled it around and your pencil went all over the place? It kind of reminds me of that. Spiral graph, I think is what they're called. So yeah, you can do this with the colored pencil too. That might be fun. All right, so now we're going to come through and we're going to take these petals that we drew the whole way around and we're going to make a darker outline that lightens up towards the end. So darker and lightens up towards the end. And that's going to make it look like the bottom half of the petal is closer and the top half of the petal is further away. And then we're going to come in and make just some suggestive lines of a petal. So if you can see, I just did some suggestive lines of the petal. So darker into lighter, suggestive lines. So sometimes the petals only have one crease in it. It's totally fine. Sometimes they have more than one. You can kind of make it up to you. And if you want to take this moment to make adjustments to your petals that you drew very quickly earlier on, you totally can. You want to make some wider you can. If you want to make some edges smoother, you can. This is your drawing. So you take control of what you have now. So I'm going to do this the whole way around. And then we're going to make our second row of petals. But don't worry, we're not making as many petals as we did before. And if you wanted to start adding color to things, you can always come in here with a yellow and do your lining with yellow and orange and have some fun with it. Totally up to you how you want to do this. Just make sure that the petals that are closest to us are darker and the ones that are further from us are lighter so that we can tell there's like an illusion of that depth to our piece. So I also used to doodle these a lot on my papers, and I always wrote in pen. So my hands would be covered in ink by the time I was done. And I know it drove like my professors especially nuts because they thought that I wasn't paying attention. But honestly, if I'm listening to anybody, I have to take notes. I'm a very visual learner and kinetic learner, so I have to take notes. And I have to have something moving in my hands to really remember things. And honestly, if I'm thinking back on like something from psychology, for example, I learned, sometimes if I think about the drawing I made, I'll be able to remember what the professor says almost verbatim, which is really strange, I know, but very visual learner. Everybody's different. So yep, I'm just coming through, adding some color, or not color, adding some texture on each piece, making these much darker in the front here. Okay, now we're going to add some petals in the background. Now, you're not going to want to add every in between each one because it's going to get too full and too messy. So you're going to lightly take your pencil and add half of petals behind. So you can see here, you can't see the whole petal, but you can see part of the petal peeking through up here. And then you're going to give it that light texture. So part of the petal peeking through, lighter color because it's further away. And you can go around and do this every so often when you see a bigger gap in between, or if you think that your flower needs a little bit more body in that area. And eventually, it's going to start looking very full. And here you go. You'll have an awesome flower. You can add color to it if you want to. You can add details. It might even be fun to make it rainbow with lots of different colors. Whenever you feel like you're finished, I would love for you to sign your name. Even if you're not quite proud of it or it's not quite what you want it to be, you should be proud that you took time today for yourself and you took time to grow today. And I'm very thankful that you are taking time to be your wonderful artistic self. Oh, hey, Michelle. She says, oh, I love flowers. This will be up for a replay, so if you want to join along, you can watch it in replay, Michelle. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight, or if you're watching on the replay, I hope that you continue to be your wonderful artistic selves and you continue to be kind and have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.